Captain Curious, what happens in your mouth when you eat? Hi, welcome to Curious Kids Every Day. I'm Josh. How are you doing today? It's so good to hear from you. I am so excited about today's episode. It's time for a new Captain Curious adventure to start. We are going to explore the digestive system to see if we can figure out what the imaginary astronaut ate that made his stomach hurt. Okay, if you're a new listener, what I just said probably sounds pretty silly. So for all the new people that are listening, because we've gotten a lot of new listeners lately since the last Captain Curious adventure, let me explain. Captain Curious is a series of episodes where instead of me answering a question and then explaining the answer, we instead go on an adventure. We pretend that we are actually out doing something. So, for example, we've previously had an adventure where we went into space and explored all the planets of our solar system. And then we did an adventure where we went to the world of words and Detective Curious solved mysteries about how words work. Well, our new adventure is actually all about the digestive system. There's a character in the Captain Curious adventures, and his name is the Imaginary Astronaut. He ate something, and it gave him a tummy ache. He's not sure what it was, and Captain Curious is about to find out. And we're going to find out by exploring the digestive system. So we're going to try to figure out what the imaginary astronaut ate. At the end of the last adventure, Captain Curious got shrunk down really small and he got eaten by the imaginary astronaut. So now it's time to start the next adventure. Are you guys ready? All right, here we go. Okay, woo, we're in the mouth. We've got to make sure that we don't get chewed up. Just try to avoid the teeth, okay? And that tongue is really big and strong. Can you see all the big teeth in the tongue? We're pretty small in here. Ooh, it's hot in here too. Did you know that your body's internal temperature is around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit? Your body works best when the temperature is right there at 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The cells and enzymes inside your body that keep you alive work best in that narrow range. That's why when you're feeling sick, your parents might check your temperature by putting a thermometer in your mouth. Guess we're just gonna have to deal with the heat. Whew. What's that noise? Do you guys hear that? Oh no. Looks like the imaginary astronaut is putting something else in his mouth. Hang on, what's that? Looks like, oh, it's an apple. He's gonna take a bite of an apple. Everybody watch out! Whoa! Can you see that? He's chewing the apple. These teeth are all so big in here. And do you notice how there are different types? First you have the incisors. They're the sharp, flat teeth at the front. They're used for cutting bites of the food. Then the canines are the pointed teeth next to the incisors. They're helpful for tearing tougher food. Oh, and the imaginary astronaut doesn't have premolars, but once he gets his adult teeth, he will have premolars that sit behind the canines. And they're flat, rigid surfaces that help crush and grind the food. But what the imaginary astronaut does have are molars. Those are the big, strong teeth at the back of the mouth, designed for heavy grinding so food becomes small enough to swallow safely. We gotta be really careful in here that we don't get, whoa! Chewed up. Now, do you see what it is that is helping the food move around the mouth from one section of teeth to another? Yep, it's the tongue. The tongue is a very strong muscle. It helps move the food around your mouth for chewing mixing it with saliva and shaping it into a soft ball called a bolus, so it's easier to swallow. Now, when I say saliva, do you know what another word for saliva is? It's probably the word that you use when you are thinking about saliva. Yep, sometimes we call it spit. So the tongue rolls the food and the saliva all around and creates a really nasty looking thing called a bolus. If you've ever spit your food out and thought, that is not even close to what it looked like when I started chewing it, that's because it's a bolus now. You got mixed together. Oh, and speaking of the tongue is also the reason that you can taste your food. Have you ever noticed that your tongue has tiny bumps all over it? Do you see all those bumps? Those bumps are called papilla. They hold the taste buds. The taste buds are the reason that you can taste things. And each one detects all 5 basic tastes. We have sweet, which is things like ice cream and honey and strawberries. And then we have the salty, pretzels, potato chips, salted peanuts. Sour, which is like lemons, vinegar, sour candies. And then there's the bitter. That's stuff like dark chocolate or black coffee or kale. And then we have umami, which is stuff like chicken broth or Parmesan cheese or mushrooms, kind of like aged flavors. When you bite into an apple, your taste buds detect the sweet first because apples contain natural sugars. There's also a hint of sour, especially in tart varieties like Granny Smith apples, because they contain mild acids. Now, an apple does not trigger strong, salty, bitter, or umami responses, because they don't have those flavors. Oh, hey, let's go look at the cheeks. It looks like the cheeks are doing something interesting. I gotta be really careful in here. The cheeks are helping keep the apple in the right place while he chews. Look at that, the muscles in the cheeks gently push food back toward the teeth so it doesn't slide out or get stuck in one corner of your mouth. Cheeks also help form the bolus by guiding food towards the tongue and mixing it with saliva. Wait, we keep talking about all this saliva, spit, but where is it all coming from? Do you see? Where is all of that saliva coming from? Oh, it looks like it's coming from ducts in the cheek here, near the upper molars. Do you see? But that doesn't seem to be the only place. Where is the rest coming from? Let's get back down. Maybe from over here by the tongue? Oh, it is. It's down here. It's under the tongue. Look. Now, saliva does a lot of things all at once. It softens your food so that your teeth can break it down more easily. Saliva also begins digestion. See, saliva contains an enzyme called amylase that starts breaking down starches into simple sugars right there in your mouth. And like we talked about, it helps form a bolus. But it also protects your teeth. See, saliva washes away tiny bits of food and helps neutralize acids that could harm your tooth enamel. Plus, it keeps your mouth comfortable. Saliva keeps the tongue, cheeks, and gums moist, which helps with speaking, tasting, and preventing irritation. Oh, and look up. Look up at the top of the mouth. Do you see the roof of the mouth up there? It looks like the front part is hard and bony. That part is called the hard palate. And right behind that, do you see where the roof gets soft and movable? That's the soft palate. And the soft palate ends with the... Hey, what is that thing hanging in the back of the mouth? What is that? Have you ever noticed that thing that hangs in the back of your mouth? Well, that is called the uvula. The uvula is the small, soft, teardrop-shaped piece of tissue that hangs down at the back of your throat. It helps with speech sounds, it keeps your throat moist by producing a little saliva, and it works with the soft palate to close off the nasal passageways when you swallow so food doesn't go up into your nose. Yep, your nose and your mouth are connected, but they work together to make sure that they stay in their own lanes. But that's why you can breathe through your nose and your mouth. They're actually connected. Wow, look at that. that doesn't even look like a piece of apple anymore. Look at that bolus. Uh-oh. It's making its way to the back of the mouth now. I think he might be getting ready to swallow. Well, hang on. Let's make sure that we know what we learned before this bolus gets swallowed. You ready for a quiz? True or false? The mouth stays warm because it's part of the body's internal temperature system, which stays around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Yep, that's true. True or false? Cheeks help keep food from sliding around and help form the bolus while chewing. That is true too. True or false? Saliva's only job is to keep the mouth moist. That is false. Saliva moistens food, starts digestion, protects teeth, and more. Uh-oh, the bolus is getting really close to the... Whoa, and now we're getting rolled into the back of the tongue. Hang on, we got a couple more questions. True or false? The soft palate is the front bony part of the roof of your mouth. That's false. That's the hard palate. The soft palate is in the back. One more, true or false? The uvula helps keep food from going up into your nose when you swallow. That is true. Oh boy, here we go. He's swallowing now. Swallowing is a coordinated action involving the tongue, soft palate, throat muscles, and the esophagus. Whoa! First, the tongue pushes the bolus of food to the back of the mouth. That's what's happening right now. The soft palate is rising, look at that up there, to block the nasal passageways. That stops air from passing through your nose while you swallow. Then, the epiglottis, that's a small flap of tissue. It folds down to cover the top of the windpipe so food doesn't enter the lungs. See, there are two paths going down your neck, the windpipe and the esophagus. Air goes through your windpipe and food goes through your esophagus, but only one is open at a time. Now that the esophagus is ready to receive the food, the muscles in the throat squeeze the food downward. Whoa, we're getting pulled down too. Oh no, it's got my foot. Oh, hang on. Oh, it's about to be a really tight squeeze. We're getting pulled down. We haven't found the thing that's giving the imaginary astronaut a tummy ache yet. But I think we're heading in the right direction. Here we go down the esophagus. Looks like Captain Curious is heading into the esophagus. What do you think will happen next? And what did the imaginary astronaut eat that's giving him a tummy ache? Do you think we'll find it? Well, we'll just keep following the path of digestion until we do. What kind of question do you think we'll ask tomorrow on Curious Kids Every Day? I can't wait to find out. So until then, keep asking questions and stay curious, kids. And we've got a birthday today. Today is Atarva's birthday. Happy birthday, Atarva. Atarva is from Washington, and Atarva is turning 8. Happy birthday! For all the grown-ups listening, if your child wants to be mentioned on their birthday, you can join the Curious Kids Club at supportcuriouskids.com. Again, that's supportcuriouskids.com. See you tomorrow!